Looking to start painting like Bob Ross and want to get into the wet on wet style? Then you're going to need the Master Paint Set from Bob Ross, and I'm going to show you how you can use this paint kit in this review. Let's go. Hey, it's me, it's Wild coming at you, and if this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your creative passions with tips and tricks, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and tick that bell so you know when my videos go live for you. And hey, if you like the product that I'm talking about, did you all a favor? I left links in the show notes below, so make sure you check them out. I think we can all agree that Bob Ross is a legend, not just for his art, but his teaching style. So how does his Master Paint Set painting kit stack up with brand new artists or enthusiasts wanting to paint in the wet and wet style? Well, luckily for you, I'm going to show you everything that comes in the kit and how to use it in this review. So let's get started. Upon opening your Bob Ross Master Paint Set box, you will be greeted with your first piece of instructional information, which is a nice little pamphlet that'll take you from point A to point B on how to complete a painting. Next, you will see your second piece of information, which will be a DVD containing information on how, again, to paint a painting from point A to point B, but this is pretty much useless because I don't know anybody with a DVD player, so you got yourself a nice little coaster. What I recommend is if you need instructional video help, I would just go to the Bob Ross YouTube page, and from there, you can see all the different types of episodes that you can follow along with. At the bottom of the box, you will see your beginning medium to start the wet on wet style, and you will see your liquid or magic white there. It may be separated, so give it a good shake and everything will be good to go, but this is your base medium that you're gonna put on your canvas, so this way your colors will slip and slide on the canvas, allowing you to create natural, beautiful blending effects. Continuing on the bottom side of the box, you will see all of your colors there. Starting from left to right, you'll have alizarin crimson, sap green, cadmium yellow, bright red, phthalo blue, Van Dyke brown, midnight black, and of course the most favorite, titanium white. Now, depending on when you get your kit, it may have been sitting on a shelf for quite some time. So what I recommend is before you open up any of the tubes, give them a good knead and set them in different locations, upside down, right side up, and this will allow the oil to move through the pigment, so that way when you do your first squeeze out, it's not just all pigment or it's just not all oil. This way you get a nice smooth consistency. But if you do get one of those blobs, don't worry about it. It'll eventually even out within the tube. The first brush you're gonna notice right off the bat is the almighty 2-inch brush. This is a beautiful brush. It's a natural bristle brush here. And you're gonna use this brush for a bunch of different things. Everything from laying in a basic sky to fluffing clouds to laying in water, pulling down reflections. Heck, you can even use it to fill in natural bushes for bigger areas or trees, or laying of land. This is an important brush that you're gonna be using all the time. Next, we have our 1-inch brush, which is a beautiful go-to brush for putting in your bushes or even adding highlights and shadows on top of your bushes. It's a perfect brush for when you need to add leaves into trees or showing cascading of light and shadow across trees. And even more importantly, you can help do details of grass and land for when you're doing mossy hills or fields. The 1-inch brush is a fun brush to use. Now, everybody's favorite brush and worst enemy has to be the fan brush, which you always see Bob using to make trees, which is basically what he uses it for in the kit. But this is your multitasker brush. You're gonna use this far beyond trees and highlights in trees. You can use this for fading in highlights and shadows in mountains, swirling in clouds to create big, beautiful, fluffy clouds or little wisps out there. But more importantly, you're gonna use this for laying of water that you get to scrub in, and this will work beautifully if you pick up a nice little tube of black gesso. You lay this down. This is the brush you're gonna use for laying in waves or cascading crashes of a pearl of a wave that's crashing down in a scene, or even better yet, just adding little streaks of highlights on top of water. This is one of the funnest brushes to use, but also one of the hardest to use. The last brush you're gonna find in your kit is the script liner brush, which essentially is your detail brush for adding in fine little fun details. Normally you'll see Bob use this for adding in branches of limbs, which it's great for, but it goes beyond that. You can add little grass blades for details in your land, or you can add highlights to water or even reflection details. But one of my favorite things to use with this is adding in little details to the landscape, like putting in a little fence with it. And of course, when you're feeling good and ready, you can use your script liner brush to put in your signature, which is gonna look awful your first time. The last tool you're gonna find in the box is the almighty palette knife, and this thing is really fun to use. Generally, you'll see Bob Ross use it to lay in his mountain and scratch out the remaining color. This way, you can put things like beautiful snow highlights and snow shadows on a mountain by letting the paint break as it comes across. You can also use this palette knife for fun things like putting in tree trunks at a moment's notice, but it goes well beyond that too. Palette knives have a multitude of tasks you can use them for, everything from water edges or scratching in fun little grass blades or even dead branches in the background of your paintings. Now, if I've interested you in getting a Bob Ross painting kit, it has wild prices on Amazon and other marketplaces. Generally, you'll see it as low as $60 all the way up to $120. And to be fair, it's a good value at any price. I will put links in the show notes below for the cheapest places I've been able to find it, so that way you can go through and click through those, which helped me out. Thank you very much. But it doesn't end there. If you do want to start painting like Bob Ross, you're going to need a few other things. Obviously, you're going to need something to paint on. You're going to need some canvases. So make sure you pick up a nice little pack of canvases like at Michael's or on Amazon itself. And you're also going to need a way to mount the canvases so that way you have a way to paint. If you're just starting out, you're not sure if you're going to like it, I recommend just a basic tabletop easel. You can find those between $5 and $10 on Amazon. If you think you're going to be in it for the long haul, I recommend getting a standing one, which will be anywhere from like $40 to a couple of $100. I'll put a link in the description below for the one that I use. And obviously you're going to need a way to clean your brushes. Since the painting kit costs a little bit of money, I want to make sure that you take care of it so that way you're painting for a long time. So make sure you get yourself some odorless paint thinner. Again, I'll put links in the show notes below for all of this stuff for you. Now, the Bob Ross Master Paint Kit comes in actually a few different styles. The box I showed you here was actually an older design, but it's still good if you can find that one. They've done a few different renditions of it, so if you get something a little different on Amazon, don't worry, it's still the same products inside. If you don't feel like you want to spend all that money on the master set, if you can still find in certain locations, the class in a box is also a good buy that will cost you a few bucks cheaper. I would probably recommend getting this for perhaps a younger kid that would be interested in learning some creative aspects or some creative adventures. And if you're a young adult, I would probably recommend getting the master paint set. It's worth the extra amount of money to have all the extra colors and tools. All right, bonus tip time. If you're the person out there that seems really jazzed about getting into wet and wet paintings and you want to see what you can do, or you want to be the next Bob Ross, I'm going to recommend one accessory. Now, it's quite hard to find because, again, they've been changing their products out there. But if you can find the base value pack out there, I'll put links in the description below if I can find any more for you. I would highly recommend this. It's going to come with your magic white, your liquid black, liquid clear, and also a conditioner to take care of your brushes. This will allow you to experiment more on the canvas to have fun with your colors and allow you to take care of your kit, which is, again, what I want for you. Look, painting can be a really fun outlet and a de-stressor in your life. I highly recommend picking up a brush and giving it a shot. You will be surprised what you can do in a handful of paintings, because you will see progression from painting 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 and beyond. It's amazing what you can do if you stick with it, and I believe the Bob Ross Master Paint Set is a good stepping stone in the right direction. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to see more videos from me, don't forget to subscribe. Also, like and share the video with all of your friends. I will be bringing out new videos every month, so I will see you all in the next painting video. Take care, all. Peace!